Hey guys, welcome to the first of our weekly lessons. Again, I'm sorry I didn't bring this up earlier, but especially this first one, I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. There is a discussion, more info at that at the end of the video. Again, really quick, not trying to take too much of your time. So we'll be going over a lot of topics, primarily over the semester, primarily focusing on how to improve as a 5v5, not so much one-on-one type stuff. Um, but this first concept is probably the most important one. It's going to affect everything that we learn in the future. It's going to affect everything we. It's going to affect how we play our games. It's how we affect how we're going to compete, and it's going to affect how you improve as a player long after us. It can even help you in situations that have nothing to do with League, and that is, of course, breaking your autopilot. Um, Now, you've probably heard of the term autopiloting, but I will go over it. Basically, it's when you get into a game and your brain shuts off and you work on pure instinct. In this stage, it's easy to forget things like enemy ults or where the jungler is. Then after the game, you realize you should be more aware, but the same thing just keeps happening day in, day out. So why is it such a common thing? Why is this such an issue? Well, in 1990, Marcus Raschel discovered a certain part of the brain called the default mode network. It's a set of structures in the brain made for repetitive tasks like walking, driving, etc. Basically, your conscious mind is not active and your subconscious takes over. So what happens? League became a repetitive task to you. Your brain stopped. Your brain has adapted, so now it stopped thinking. Your brain is on autopilot. All of this is to say it's a completely natural process. And it can't really be helped. I mean, once you're comfortable playing, you stop thinking about the game, meaning your brain can think about something else. This allows you to do two things at once, like how you can drive and talk at the same time. This is essentially impossible to break. There's no secret or tips to breaking your autopilot. So if we can't beat it, we're going to exploit it. We can use the fact that we can autopilot while thinking about something else to improve. We can do this through a number of steps. First, we need to choose one thing to focus on. Two is practice solely on that idea. And three is record the results and track progress to see how it's going. Okay, so the first thing is to choose one aspect of your autopilot and focus on it. Trying to break every bad habit at once is obviously a bad idea. We just can't process all that information. So instead, we're going to focus on one thing at a time. For the example of this presentation, let's say you autopilot really badly in lane and you die a lot. Your goal can be to gain more awareness if that's while laning. Your routine would be something like this. For the next 10 games, you are going to establish a handful of questions to ask yourself. In our example, these would be something like, where's the enemy jungler? Do I have summoners? Does the enemy have ultimate? Am I in kill range? Do I need a back? But thinking of these questions mid-game is kind of hard, because once you start autopiloting, you're just going to forget. That's the point of autopiloting. So, I will be introducing you to a technique called the mindfulness bell. All this is a bell, typically a giant YouTube video, that rings in set intervals, usually every minute, but there's also every 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 2 minutes, 15 minutes. And every time you hear it, all you have to do is ask yourself those questions. Think about those questions. Through repetition, it'll become a habit. And once it becomes a habit, you'll start autopiloting it. And once you start autopiloting it, then you never have to think about it again. You can move on to the next topic. I'll include a link to one in the tryhard chat sometime, but there's probably a handful of good ones on YouTube. Now, it's important for the first one or two times you do this per goal to practice these not in ranked flex, norms, or on a Smurf account. I also recommend muting chat. That way you can truly focus on just improving the one aspect of the game. Don't worry about anything else without first worrying about your learning objective. For our example, you don't roam, you don't trade, you don't implement wave management, you just focus on dying. Now, after you've done that a couple times, you can go back to playing regular ranked, but still keep the bell around for a little bit until it's completely got in your autopilot. Now, after each game that you spend focusing, record it. It's still it's pinned in the Law General chat, but I have included a section for whatever personal goal that you are trying to work towards, and also a section for you to kind of jot notes. I haven't implemented it yet, but you will be able to look back and see your progress. So if you've been dying a lot, we can actually track your KDA and see if there's been any improvement. If there's no improvement, then we can look over your game footage and analyze what is actually going wrong, and then we can work on fixing that. Now, not dying is just one example. There are tons of them. Here's a list of a few. If you need help thinking about your own weaknesses, feel free to pause the video at this point. But there's one more thing that I'm going to ask of you guys. Go to this link, tinyurl.com/break autopilot. It's just going to take you to a 2-question discussion. All you got to do is just discuss the topic I gave, and then there's also a question about feedback about a topic. So please fill that out as well. But that is all that I have. Thank you so much for participating in this. I know at least I am really busy this semester, so I really thank you guys for putting up with all the homework and league assignments and shit. It means a lot to me that you guys want to improve as much as you are. So with that being said, have a great rest of your day.